Okay. Okay, so I am going to be reacting to the aftermath of the Hamfest of Candace Owen um, video after the Hamfest speech. After Ben Shapiro Hamfest speech, like I made a video yesterday. I thought Ben Shapiro completely destroyed Candace Owen with her conspiracy theories and so forth. So I am going to be reacting to her video.
Quote, in short, if the blanket statement that genocide is wrong upsets you in any way, then you need to check yourself. I said exactly what I meant, and I won't be backing down, apologizing, or further clarifying this. Within 24 hours, Candace liked a post calling Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu a war criminal. Now let's be clear. You're free to disagree with Israel's conduct, and you're free to oppose the Netanyahu government. But the idea that Israel is committing genocide or that Netanyahu is a war criminal is just factually based. Unfortunately, Candace Root had nothing to
calls for it, whatever. What's controversial about anything that I say? Now, I'm again you to these are my crimes. Just imagine 300 people being brought and said, like, she said this, and then he goes into a diatribe about the real beating of Christ is King, and he shows videos of Nick Fuentes, which had nothing to do with me. I had never even spoken. I think only one time I'd spoken ever to Nick Fuentes, and it was pertaining to Kanye. Yeah, that was it. But I'm showing you this because it's important for you to understand that this has never stopped. I want you to imagine if you view yourself to be a slave owner and that slave not only survives like this public whipping, but that escapes and becomes successful. That's pretty much my relationship with Ben Shapiro since he's fired me, because they have not stopped. They have not stopped. I am talking about people working behind the scenes to call advertisers, attempting to bankrupt me in courts, sending undercover interns to stalk me. He has issued thus far 3 court proceedings, okay, for every solitary petty infraction against things that I say. He's worked with Barry Weiss behind the scenes to have articles written about me. It is nonstop. I refer to this, just to be clear, as legal abuse. It's legal abuse. And I have put up with a lot of it. I have put up with the pest of even me because I interviewed a USS Liberty survivor who mentioned your name as you pretend that you care about free speech and debate. I've put up with a lot of it, but today I draw the line. I draw the line with this miserable imp when it comes to Charlie Kirk, okay? Don't try me on this, but you keep trying me on this. You are an imposter, Ben. You're an imposter. You pay to pretend that you're friends, that you have a right to be on that stage because you get donors to pressure people. You know Jewish people who can threaten money, or you say, I'm going to do an advertising spend. Here's $1 million. I'm sorry, you're dead. The entire world knows that you are an imposter. I mean, you're so much of a fraud that essentially what you do is you have people send around clips to grown men to cheer you on, to pretend like the audiences love you. You staff audiences with people.
I mean, this was a Zionist M-fest, so people were cheering because and then people like Myron Gain, Andrew Tate, Walter Weeks, they were not allowed because they were anti-Zionist.
That work for who are told to explode into cheers when you hit the stage because you don't have the confidence anymore to go out into the world because you know people see you for what you are. And so it exactly what he did yesterday. We can now listen to what this imposter said as he hit the stage. Charlie Kirk's organization, the one that he built for debate, if you have a disagreement, and he instructs people here in this speech, go after me and Tucker Carlson, right? That's what he's going to do. He wants us deplatformed. So he's going to attack me, he's going to attack Tucker Carlson, and he's going to attack Kelly because she's at the beginning of what these people have put me.
But he did not went hard on Megyn Kelly. He went hard on you and Tucker Carlson.
And and Charlie Kirk through. Take a listen to a portion of what Ben had to say.
So, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of aspersions at TPUSA, and the people who work here, who worked with Charlie every single day, his best friends, to cast aspersions at Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvin and Blake Neff and Tyler Boyer, and yes, at Erica Kirk, and to imply or outright claim complicity in a cover-up over Charlie's murder, trash, implicating everyone from French intelligence to Mossad to members of TPUSA in Charlie's murder, or a cover-up in that murder, then we, as people with a microphone, have a moral obligation to call that out by name. So no, Tucker Carlson, it is not an excuse to go silent on Candace's targeting of TPUSA.
And also, what I also find ironic, I check out Jimmy Dore channel, and then he had like a title, Tucker Carlson destroy Ben Shapiro. But Tucker Carlson was speaking, and no one was really cheering. The crowd were just silent. But Ben Shapiro, they were cheering. He completely destroyed Candace Owen conspiracy theories, and she pretty much had no rebuttal on her video. She just resort to ad hominem attacks and told Ben Shapiro, screw you.
Or to mirror her bullshit lines of questioning because you love Candace personally. The same holds true of Megyn Kelly, a person I consider a friend, characterizing Candace as a young mother and thus shying away from her actions or fibbing.
And I also don't understand why Megyn Kelly is upset with Ben Shapiro, because Ben Shapiro, he said a person, he considered her a friend, and that it is a lame excuse to say that, oh, she's a young mother, that's why she is she can spew this conspiracy theories, because he gave example of two others, Helen Homer and another woman.
About them. That is a non-starter. When Candace Owen says, I don't know, but I know, that is retarded. And we are all more retarded for having heard it.
Well, Ben, when it comes to you and having worked with you, I just know the tactics that you use to feign popularity in the public. I just know the amount of money that you are willing to spend on advertising to inflate your numbers to make people think that you're popular. So, yeah, I don't have to say we don't know when it comes to you. You are such of a little man. Your jealousy against Tucker, your ability to believe that you can keep manipulating the markets. You know those kids booed on that stage. The messages I got from
people did not boo him on that stage. He was phenomenal, and he was getting cheers. I disagree with Candace on this one.
Turning Point USA people, what is happening? Why is he on this stage standing against everything that Charlie believed in? That's what you're doing, standing against everything.
I don't understand also how is he standing against anything. I mean, against Charlie is doing. I mean, both of them were both pro-Israel, and yeah, there were no boos. I agree with you, Ricky Villa Gomez. There were no boos. There were no boos. There were no cheers. It was just silence when Tucker Carlson spoke. Ben Shapiro, it was all cheers.
Charlie believed because you weren't his friend. He didn't like you for that very reason.
And also, I disagree that he did not like Ben Shapiro, because I believe Ben Shapiro had a show with Charlie Kirk. So here, I will show. So here, so so this is Ben Shapiro with Charlie Kirk. That's 3 months ago. That was September 9, 2025 that this video was posted. So I don't know what Candace Owen means when she say Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk did not like Ben Shapiro. That's not true. So let's get back to Candace.
Look at you, and I just think you are such a little worm. I could see you right now, probably. What can we get out to her? We're going to her into bankruptcy, right? Sue her for every word that I don't like and every time my feelings are hurt. Because what you really believe in is Baal Berith. That's what your people believe in. You believe that you are contract lords and that people are not allowed to violate contracts or you will ruin them for years. You fire someone and you effectively stalk and harass them for years after. I'm here to let you know that I'm done with it. I am done with it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation. Truly, Ben Shapiro, fuck you and the midget horse that you rode in on. And I say that on behalf of the world. I know you're going to get applauded by Konstantin Kisin and Andrew Christ is King Clavin and all of the people, the men who have to keep applauding what you do like you're a 4-year-old to make you feel good. But the rest of the world can't stand you. You're obnoxious. You have absolutely no values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe yourself as a Jew, and I've learned what's in that Talmud. Encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks of you, because he doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all Black people, okay? If he's following the rules of the Talmud, I mean, when I say hates, they think
Yeah, I agree, Ricky. She was mad.
That we're animals.
Because, I mean, she pretty much had no rebuttal with all the claims that he made. Like, I don't know, no, I know, no, sound really stupid.
That they have a right to own us, that they have a right to make us worship them, that they have a right to lie to us, that they have a right to sue us and take everything that we have, that they have a right to deceive us, that they have a right to treat Charlie the way that he treated Charlie while he was alive, only to then try to defraud the population into thinking that he is somehow.
He did not, I literally show like a video of Ben Do with Charlie together. That was like posted on September 9, 2025. So I believe him and Charlie were in good terms.
Of his legacy, that he somehow cared about Charlie Kirk and cares to protect the people that are working at Turning Point USA. Goodbye, Ben. Goodbye. Question is, how much more money is Ben Shapiro going to spend to make people think that he's popular? How many more articles is his father going to write under a pen? Hank Berrien of the Daily Wire under the pen name Berrien, as he wrote while Ben was at Breitbart before he turned his back and betrayed them too, because that is his nature. He's one of these belly creatures, sliver on. The question is, how many more weeks and years do we have to keep pretending like Ben Shapiro is relevant? It's an open-ended question. Of course, what followed Ben Shapiro on stage is somebody who Charlie Kirk loved very much and who he fought for to the very end against the Jewish donors who were pressuring him, some of them because Ben Shapiro insisted that. Take a listen to what Tucker Carlson had to say when he hit the stage.
The prediction that, at some point when Republicans took power again, which I did everything I could, to help, and really felt that was important. I still think, I was right. But I really thought that the impulse to deplatform people, or even to use the word platform as a verb, which it's not, it's a noun, don't steal my nouns, deplatform and denounce. Why haven't you denounced somebody else? The whole Red Guard cultural revolution that we so hated and feared on the left, that we did everything we could to usher in a new time where you could have an actual debate. I mean, this kind of was the whole point of Charlie Kirk's life. And I think that he died for it. I really believe that. And I know a lot about it because the last several months of Charlie's life were devoted in part to arguing about this event, in fact, this speech, in fact, my speech here, which he asked me to do earlier this year, this summer, and was immediately put under just immense pressure from people who give money to Turning Point, I would assume good people, but who wanted him to take me off the roster. And this has all become public, and the whole thing is so sad that I never talk about it, except to say Charlie stood firm in his often stated and deeply held belief that people should be able to debate, and that if you have something valid to say, if you're telling the truth, you ought to be able to explain it calmly and in detail to people who don't agree with you, and that you shouldn't immediately resort to shut up racist.
That is Charlie Kirk's true legacy, and that is Charlie Kirk's true friend, just as I was and am and will continue to fight and ask questions about who killed Charlie Kirk. And to people that are at home, I implore you to wake up to these people who believe that they are contract lords. I challenge Black Americans to wake up to your true history, because your quarrel is not with white men. Okay? Wake up to who publishes these books and keeps us warring with one another. Christians versus Christians, right? Christians versus Muslims. Wake up and learn the true history of slavery, because that wasn't exactly a white men sport, okay? Jewish people were the ones that were trading us. Jewish people were in control of the slave trade. They've buried a lot of it, but it's there and you can find it. I think all of us need to wake up to this, because it's making me absolutely sick that he is so bold that he dare sit near Charlie Kirk's chair, that he dare grace that stage when Charlie Kirk knew exactly what Ben Shapiro was and will always be. So again, on your belly, Ben Shapiro. We'll be back after a brief break. All right, you guys, when they double down Candace intake form out, I should mention also the kids, they're protected the right. If there is going to be one solitary person who convinces me, who has convinced me that the public is justified in looking into Erica Kirk, it is Ben Shapiro, okay? Didn't like Charlie. You're telling me he's just obsessed with defending the honor of his widow? No.
That's not true. I mean, I'm gonna try to see if I can find because I remember I stumbled on Twitter where there's a post that what Charlie Kirk did consider Ben a friend, but I would try to find that tweet.
He's fearful of something about Erica Kirk. He just keeps calling out Erica Kirk on stage, demanding allegiance to Erica Kirk. Who are you? Actually, who are you? Why are you in this conversation? Why were you so quick to say that you would pick up his bloody mic and carry on? And didn't you just fire half of your force that was involved in Daily Wire Kids, only to then drop $1 million on Charlie's show? Again, weaseling your way into the chair when you weren't invited to go on there, but Matt Walsh was, because that's what you do. You wheel and deal behind the scenes to make people think that you're liked. It's embarrassing, really, Ben. It's truly, honestly embarrassing. Why are you not embarrassed to be alive? I don't understand it. Anyways, so his general demeanor is starting to make me think that there's something there, right? The Fort Huachuca thing, it's definitively compelling, I would say. I am learning also that Fort Huachuca has ties to Liberty University, and that you can attend classes there and achieve your degree at Liberty University. Still working to verify that. Mark Amadei, we're going to get to that, actually, that congressman in a second. Amadei has come out and really kind of not answered where he was on the morning of the 9th. As I said, I don't know if we can rely entirely on the memory of one person who believes that he saw these individuals. But what I can say is that we verified 1000% that he was where he said he was, that there was a meeting where he says that there was a meeting. We verified that Captain Neff was there, the one that he says was nice, but he got questioned for a very long time and they wanted to hold him for 24 hours. So everything else that people are trying to dig up about Mitch, you can just ignore. Okay, that is a distraction, right? The only way that you can help debunk anything that he has said is to say, oh, actually, I was the person that was there. It wasn't this congressman, it was me. Or I was staying at the Candlewood Inn and Suites and I saw this couple or, these two individuals in the hotel as well. And it was actually somebody else. It was my cousin. We're looking only for somebody to debunk those two aspects. Okay. Because he was where he says he was, and everything else we have verified. Ignore the noise and stay focused on that note, because we did know that he was going to get attacked by a lot of trolls. And I did tell you we would put together a give, send, go. You can support Mitch at Give Entirely Possible. And we told you obviously that he thought that it all. Okay. Now, regarding Fort Huachuca and what it is, or who he believes that he saw, we told you obviously that he thought that he saw the congressman from Vegas, Mark Amadei. And I will say, regarding the call sign in Vegas, we keep telling you that call sign at various times says Sam 702 or RCH 702. Well, that's Vegas. 702 is Vegas. Shocking just about area codes. Obviously, 702 is Vegas. So that could just be obviously a coincidence, but it becomes compelling. Well, Mark Amadei apparently received a ton of phone calls from his constituents who wanted to know where he was. Like, where were you actually on the morning of the 9th? I want to remind you guys, the meeting was concluding at 7:30. We verified his call logs. We verified the meeting was concluding around 7:30 a.m. in the morning on the 9th on Fort Huachuca, at Fort Huachuca, in the House of Present in the September 8th in Harp, and win in the free markets. So it was interesting. And of course, this was before we discovered the planes and the route to Las Vegas. So that was coming yesterday. And genuinely, because I was sitting down having a discussion at dinner with Johnny Yep, who runs Catholic for Catholics, and we were sort of discussing rather, but I'm going, I don't know anything. There's a lot of social media activity between her and his partner thing. They've been able to schedule Mark Princess. You know, slavery, people that are artificially being supported, and we can do the stuff.
Okay, never mind. Just wanted to say, yeah, one of my favorite part of this live stream is when she said, "F you to Shapiro," but Candace didn't really have any response to any of the claim Shapiro made, and so now I'm going to switch to Jimmy Dore.
All of us. Friendships in accusing TPUSA of a cover-up of Charlie's murder is no excuse for cowardice.
So he called Megyn Kelly a coward, calling Tucker Carlson a coward. So Tucker Carlson spoke very soon after that. And here's Tucker Carlson's response. Now, you tell me which you like more. You tell me which resonates more with your spirit, with your soul, with your heart, and your sensibilities as an American. You tell me which resonates more. Someone trying to ostracize someone, asking legitimate, logical questions, questioning the establishment narrative around an assassination, the FBI lies, or...
Like I said before, it was not, like Jack Persovic said, it was not the FBI who turned in Tyler Robinson. it was his parents. And then I also heard rumor that one of Tyler Robinson's dad was a deputy sheriff. He's the one who got in contact with Tyler Robinson to turn himself in.
This guy.
I just got here and I feel like I missed the first part of the program. Hope I didn't miss anything meaningful. But I just want to say, I don't think I did. No, I'm just kidding. I watched it. I laughed. That kind of bitter, sardonic laugh that emerges from you when like Upside Down World arrives. When your dog starts doing your taxes and you're like, wait, it's not supposed to work this way. To hear calls for like deplatforming and denouncing people at a Charlie Kirk event, I'm like, what? This is hilarious. Yeah, this is hilarious. Actually, one of the clips I was listening to myself, thinking I often do when I hear myself speak, which is never, because I never watch myself, but at these events, they always play like the role of you. And I'm like, that guy is pompous. Woo! Sorry about that. We don't see ourselves clearly. But the prediction that, at some point when Republicans took power again, which I did everything I could, to help, and really felt that was important. I still think, I was right. But I really thought that the impulse to deplatform people, or even to use the word platform as a verb, which it's not,
And also, Ben Shapiro criticism about Tucker Carlson is he did not ask any hard question to Nick Fuentes, and Tucker Carlson does have the ability to push back. Like he pushed back against Mike Pence, and then he forced Mike Pence to admit that the United States was not his concern. That he cared more about Ukraine, Mike Pence.
Noun, don't sounds, deplatform and denounce. Why haven't you denounced somebody else? The whole like Red Guard cultural revolution thing that we so hated and feared on the left that we did everything we could to usher in a new time where you could have an actual debate. I mean, this kind of was the whole point of Charlie Kirk's public life. And I think that he died for it. I really believe that. And I know a lot about it because the last several months of Charlie's life were devoted.
And also, Shapiro did have a lot more cheers in his speech than Tucker Carlson. Yeah, but he completely destroyed Candace Owen in that speech. And then when she had like a follow-up live stream, she seemed angry.
To arguing about this event, in fact, this speech, in fact, my speech here, which he asked me to do earlier this year, this summer, and was immediately put under just immense pressure from people who give money to Turning Point. I would assume good people, but who wanted him to take me off the roster.
And Ben Shapiro would be one of those people. So Ben Shapiro thinks this is a bad idea to platform Tucker Carlson, even though Charlie Kirk did, and Ben Shapiro hated Charlie Kirk. Just keep that in mind. And then they all about it and said that Charlie Kirk liked Ben Shapiro, and Candace had to reveal that they were all lying when she revealed the text messages. Okay.
I didn't even watch any of Candace Owen shows and about the text message.
And this all become public, and the whole thing is so sad that I never talk about it, except to say Charlie stood firm in his often stated and deeply held belief that people should be able to debate, and that if you have something valid to say, if you're telling the truth, you ought to be able to explain it calmly and in detail to people who don't agree with you, and that you shouldn't immediately resort to shut up racist. You shouldn't immediately go to motive. By the way, shut up racist is the #1 reason I voted for Donald Trump. And because I'm just sick of it. I mean, first of all, if I was a racist, if I was a bigot, I would just say so. Okay, it's America. You're allowed to be whatever kind of person you want. I'm not. I'm sincerely opposed, have always been, and will always be. But the style of debate where you prevent the other side from talking or being heard because you immediately go to motive. Well, I wonder why you're asking that question. I wonder why. Why are you asking that question? I detect in the question a certain evil in your soul. And everyone listening should know that listening to you implicates them. And that they someday may be asked to denounce you. And
Okay, so I found something on Twitter. Somebody posted she go by the name Dana Balling, and that just debunked that fact that Ben Shapiro hated Charlie Kirk, and so here.
Charlie Kirk, founder of TPA. You've built an actually enormous thing. It's seriously amazing.
Thank you, Ben. It's great to see you, and thanks for being here. Yeah, it's been kind of a wild journey. You're one of the few people I could say you were at the foundational levels.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember 18-year-old Charlie Kirk going around the David Horowitz Freedom Center at the Breakers trying to meet donors. And I remember saying to every one of those donors, this guy's going to be head of the RNC. And then you just basically built your own RNC.
Yeah, you know, we kind of looked at the RNC and we said, maybe we could do something in our own likeness and image. But no, I mean, glory be to God. It's amazing. And this election cycle was a big test for us. And we were thrilled with the result.
I have to say, it's actually incredible. So there's a tape of you from election night when it was announced that President Trump had won, and you got really emotional. And I was moved by it because I know how much work you've put in over the last 10 years just to get to this point and to be so influential in this election. And listen, I mean, you were handed an enormous responsibility, and that's a super hard thing. Outside the president and the vice president-elect, outside of that, very few people in this country have had more to do with the success of Donald Trump's re-elect effort. And I think this may have turned around the entire country. So you deserve enormous thanks, enormous kudos. Well done.
Well, thank you. I'll throw it back to the Daily Wire. I love the Daily Wire. You guys are doing great work, and you guys really have us back when it matters.
So I don't know. So this is the opposite of what Jimmy Dore and Candace Owen are saying. Because Charlie Kirk in here, he said he loved the Daily Wire. And then he seemed to like Ben Shapiro when they were having this podcast together.
Most during the summer and fall. I remember you texted me, you said, I will climb fucking glass to do whatever it takes to get Trump elected. And it really helped a lot, mattered a lot. And this is a victory for the American people. And glory be to God. We have 4 great years and maybe beyond that with JD Vance and more. But it is a reprieve from the terror that we're living under right now. So
Charlie Kirk, again, thank you so much. Congratulations. Look forward to the rest of this amazing event.
Thanks.
Okay, so that's the post from Dana Balling. I bet this would trigger people that would want to believe that Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk hated each other. That's quite the opposite. They supported each other, lifted each other up, appreciate each other's effort in bettering the country. So it looks like Candace Owen, his line when she said that Charlie Kirk did not like Ben Shapiro, and that Jimmy Dore said something like Charlie Kirk, that Ben Shapiro does not like Charlie Kirk. So this is quite the opposite. And this was
Charlie Kirk, founder of...
This was posted 3 hours ago. And also Ben Shapiro also talked about how he met him when they were like, when he was 18, and he said that this guy will be a leader of a Republican movement, which is Turning Point USA. So here.
that friendship is not a reason to defend someone. Love is no defense. I kind of thought we'd reached the end of that. And as far as I'm concerned, we have. And I'm not going to play by those rules. I'm not going to engage in that. If someone doesn't like what I think, fine with me, as long as I get to express it. That's my view.
So that's Tucker Carlson completely blowing Ben Shapiro's bullshit out of the water by relying on real values, by relying on real American values. That let's have the debate. They don't want to have the debate. Tucker Carlson's already asked people like Ben and people like Mark Levin, let's have the debate. They're not going to do that because they're going to be exposed for the frauds that they are. And they're Israel first. They don't want people like Candace Owens asking questions that might embarrass Israel.
And then like a couple of weeks or a month ago, it was Ben Shapiro that asked Tucker Carlson for the debate, and he said no. So I don't know if it changed or not.
Or and that's why they had also turned on Charlie Kirk, by the way. Those same people that had turned on Charlie Kirk, the people that Ben Shapiro advocates for, Israel and their Jewish donors, Charlie Kirk had already turned on them. Charlie Kirk said the Jewish donors are playing into the worst stereotypes, and I will not be bullied by them, and I can no longer support Israel. That's what Charlie Kirk said. And here's Ben Shapiro, the phony supreme, the charlatan, wanting you to think the opposite. And by the way, so is Erica Kirk. Shabbat shalom. So is she. They're turning USA into a Zionist organization. They're into a Christian Zionist organization. And Tucker Carlson's there to let you know, don't do that.
I mean, I think it was already a Zionist organization when Charlie Kirk was alive. I still, even before, when he was alive, I still viewed that as a pro-Israel organization.
And he's also there to let you know that people like Ben Shapiro are against your very values of free speech and honest debate. That's so. So Ben Shapiro's an authoritarian who tries to scare people. You're mongering the threat of being ostracized to try to get you to shut up, to try to silence you. That's what he's doing. Try to silence you. And there's Tucker Carlson saying everybody should be able to talk. The exact opposite of Shapiro.
I mean, out of Tucker Carlson, Candace Owen, Myron Gain, Walter Weeks, and all the others, Tucker was allowed to come, but the rest, they were not allowed to come. They were not invited.
So God bless him. And, so after Ben Shapiro said that about Megyn Kelly, you want to hear it again?
Yes.
So Eddie, I just want to let you know that Charlie wanted Tucker at TPUSA events like this, and he told him to go max, meaning don't bite your tongue on anything. Tell the truth. Tell the truth about donors. Tell the truth about the Israel donors. Truth about everything. Zionism. Tell the truth. Go max, he said. Hey, come see me on tour January 11th. And
Okay. So this is what I wanted to react to. The Candace Owen, part of Candace Owen live stream and Jimmy Dore's video.